Aloha everybody, welcome to the extra video of Sonic Advance 2. After you've collected your first set of Chaos Emeralds, like you have to get 7 with one character, you actually unlock the Tiny Chao Garden. Yes, you have to unlock the Tiny Chao Garden, unlike Sonic Advance 1 where you had it right away. But it's the same thing, pretty much, really no difference. It still connects to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and Sonic Adventure DX, and you still raise your Chao here. If you wanted me to go into more detail about the Chao Garden, obviously you should just watch Advance 1 again. The only thing that's really different about the Tiny Chao Garden this time around is this new minigame involving cream and cheese. Basically, you have to bounce cheese on the spring. Depending on the angle that cheese hits the spring, he'll jump in a certain way, and you're trying to collect all the rings, and it's just a way for getting rings. Personally, it's not the best minigame in the world. I don't really care about it. All it really makes me want to do is bust out my Super Nintendo and start playing some Earthworm Jim 2. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it per se. I mean, it's a nice new minigame that they've added to Tiny Chao Garden, and it's kind of cute in its own little way, but, you know, if I'm going to collect rings for the Tiny Chao Garden, I'm just going to play the levels. That's just the way I roll. I don't like doing these minigames where I got 25 rings and... actually, that's a good number. Either way, I just don't like the Tiny Chao Garden, period, so I wouldn't do it anyway. After you've cleared one set of rings, they just bring another new set of rings, and the game's over if you drop cheese about 3 times. Chao abuse! Call the police! Oh god. The other minigame is still the card minigame, just like it was in Sonic Advance 1, so that hasn't changed. After you've gotten your second set of Chaos Emeralds, you unlock the sound test! Yes, again, you have to unlock the sound test, whereas Sonic Advance 1 had it right from the get-go. In the options menu, you'll notice this is actually another game which starts off in normal, and you can make it easier. So if Sonic Advance 2 is hard for some reason to you, you can switch it to easy mode. I haven't actually tested it out because whatever. I'll just play Sonic as it was meant to be played. As it, you know... Because Sonic's not that hard, honestly. Anywho, Cream is the poster girl for the sound test. She replaces Amy Rose. And, not really anything, you know, amazing about the sound test this time around. There's no classic songs to show off this time around, so yeah. Getting your third set of Chaos Emeralds, well, that gets you bosses in the time attack. Yay. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, as soon as you've collected the Chaos Emeralds with every character in the game, well, then you finally unlock Amy Rose, who, might I remind you, was available right from the get-go when Sonic Advance started up. Hui. But, Amy Rose, let's see how she plays out. We'll play a level with her, and then a special stage with her, and then we'll see her ending. But, yes, Amy Rose is in Sonic Advance 2, but the amount of effort and bullshit you have to go through just to unlock her, I think it's ridiculous. This is her up animation. She jumps like a schoolgirl. Go figure. She still has her hammer to attack people with. The big difference about Amy, though, this time around is that she actually plays pretty much like Sonic does now. You know how in Sonic Advance 1, when she couldn't jump onto enemies, she had to use her hammer to destroy them, she couldn't spin dash and stuff? All of that has changed in Sonic Advance 2. Amy Rose is now a more popular character to a lot of people because she handles like Sonic. She can spin dash, she can jump into badniks just by jumping into them. In fact, she kind of has an insta-shield type attack with, like, Sonic, because when she pushes the jump button in the air, she actually swings her hammer like she used to do in Sonic Advance 1. But since you can actually jump into badniks this time around, the hammer really is only for reach, just like the insta-shield for Sonic. But yeah. She still double jumps, she still runs fast. Again, that's just the big difference about Amy from Advanced 1 to Advanced 2. It's like, in Advanced 1, you needed to hit enemies with your hammer. You couldn't jump on them, there was no spin dash. So yeah. Sonic Advance 2 pretty much went, okay, a lot of people didn't like Amy Rose's gameplay, so guess what? She's like Sonic now. Actually, I would imagine a lot of people actually got offended by that. I don't know. I think a lot of people would have been offended that this gameplay style they really enjoyed in Sonic Advance 1, like my cousin, they'd probably be pissed that Advance 2 just made Amy another Sonic clone, you know? Whereas Amy had her own distinct gameplay in Part 1 that a lot of people liked getting used to. I don't know. I don't really care either way. I like playing as Amy in both Advance 1 and 2, but, you know. It's still ridiculous the effort it takes to unlock Amy Rose. You'd think you were unlocking Shadow the Hedgehog. At least Shadow has a substantially gigantic fan base, and people would be busting their ass to play as Shadow in Sonic Advance 2. I think most girl gamers who want to pick up a handheld Sonic game would expect Amy Rose to be available right from the get-go, and they're not going to bust their ass getting all these Chaos Emeralds to play as Amy. I mean, yeah, Cream's a girl too, but, you know... What about those female Sonic fans that wanted Amy? What about those male fans who wanted Amy right from the get-go? It's a shame. The other fun thing about having Amy in the special stage is that you get to reunite her with Zero. But that's pretty much it. There's nothing special. Zero doesn't do extra attacks because Amy's here or anything. That would have been actually pretty neat if, like, the special stage kind of changed because, you know, give me the bird. Wait, that was Gamma. But you know what I mean. So yeah, folks, that's Amy Rose. Really not much to show off. She just handles like Sonic. She goes through all the same boss fights, you know. She has a bounce attack, which you saw me pull off. Yeah, it's Amy. Of course, her ending is exactly the same as the other characters. You're going to notice the background that she actually jumps into in this ending is actually different. That's because I didn't bother getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds with her. When you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, the background actually changes when they land. But it's a very minor detail, and I don't really care. I wasn't going to bust my ass getting the Emeralds for her, too. I beat the game with her. I'm ready to move on. So, folks, stay tuned, because next we're going to look at Sonic Pinball Party. Should be good. Anywho, I am the Great Clement. It's been fun. Toodles.